Credit card transactions.
Mayor Tiffany Henyard is caught in a whirlwind of scandal and financial turmoil that has gripped widespread attention. Allegations claim she is seeking to raise a staggering $10 million through a GoFundMe campaign to sustain her extravagant lifestyle. Despite not sharing the global recognition of figures like Beyoncé or Kim Kardashian, Henyard's situation has become a lightning rod for controversy due to the audacity and scope of the claims against her. At the center of this storm lies an ever-growing mountain of debt that has become a focal point for critics and creditors alike. Lawsuits are mounting as efforts intensify to recover funds, with allegations against Henyard fueling outrage throughout Dalton. The financial troubles reportedly began escalating in March 2024 when explosive revelations accused Henyard of embezzling public funds to support her lavish personal pursuits. Allegedly, she treated the city's budget as her personal bank account, financing luxurious indulgences at the expense of taxpayers. From first-class flights and extravagant shopping sprees to opulent dinners, her spending patterns painted a picture of unbridled excess, leaving many residents feeling deceived and betrayed. Unlike wealthy celebrities who squander private fortunes, Henyard's alleged misuse of public funds has directly impacted her community, leaving constituents disillusioned and enraged. During a tense public meeting, a furious Dalton resident gave voice to the town's growing frustration, confronting Henyard with sharp words. "You lied to us. You don't represent me or this community. I want you to resign today and save Dalton from the deficit you've caused." This sentiment echoes the widespread discontent in Dalton, where financial mismanagement has left the town reeling. Local services have deteriorated, bills remain unpaid, and the community's morale has plummeted. The ripple effects of Henyard's alleged actions have strained public trust and deepened the town's financial instability. Residents accuse the mayor of prioritizing her personal financial needs over her duty to serve, recklessly spending taxpayer dollars without a shred of accountability. Adding to the outrage is Henyard's rumored GoFundMe campaign, which seeks to raise an astonishing $10 million. This move has been widely criticized as tone-deaf and desperate, with detractors accusing her of trying to fix problems of her own making without addressing the underlying issues. The campaign has only deepened public resentment, as many see it as another example of leadership disconnected from the realities faced by ordinary citizens. The fallout from Henyard's actions has been devastating for Dalton, a small community already struggling to make ends meet. Public infrastructure and services are in disarray while the town faces mounting debts that have crippled its operations. Critics argue that Henyard's tenure as mayor exemplifies the dangers of unchecked power, highlighting how leadership driven by self-interest can derail an entire community. The betrayal felt by Dalton residents is palpable, not just because of the financial misconduct, but also due to the arrogance and apparent indifference displayed by their leader. As legal pressures mount and calls for her resignation grow louder, Henyard's ability to govern effectively is under serious question. The controversy surrounding her has left a stain on her reputation, and the town is left grappling with the consequences of her alleged mismanagement. While scandals involving public officials are not uncommon, Henyard's case stands out for its brazenness and the direct harm inflicted on a vulnerable community. Her actions have not only eroded public trust, but also jeopardized Dalton's financial future. The question now is whether this scandal will serve as a turning point for reform, or if the shadow of mismanagement will continue to loom over Dalton. For the residents, the damage has already been done. The financial instability caused by Henyard's decisions has left lasting scars, and the road to recovery will be long and arduous. Whether she steps down voluntarily or is removed from office, Henyard's legacy will likely be defined by mistrust and betrayal. This saga serves as a sobering reminder of the importance of accountability in public office and the devastating consequences when that trust is broken.
Accountability.
Taxpayers a lot of money with few details about how it benefits.
Reports continue to flood in about Mayor Tiffany Henyard's alleged mismanagement and financial recklessness, painting a deeply troubling picture of a leader who appears to have prioritized personal indulgence over her sworn duty to serve the public. The accusations against her are both extensive and alarming, ranging from claims of embezzling public funds to taking out massive personal loans totaling millions of dollars. Loans she is reportedly unable to repay. These financial troubles have placed her on the brink of bankruptcy, yet, despite her precarious financial state, Henyard allegedly maintained a life of luxury. All the while, Dalton, Illinois, the town she was elected to lead, has spiraled into a severe financial crisis that has left residents reeling and essential public services on the verge of collapse. The situation has grown so dire that even the town's police department vehicles are reportedly at risk of repossession due to unpaid bills, a striking symbol of Dalton's financial instability under Henyard's leadership. This scandal is not simply about personal mismanagement. It is a crisis that has exposed the very fabric of corruption and irresponsibility within her administration. And an insufficiency in her very fabric of corruption and irresponsibility within her administration, the allegations of reckless spending and misappropriation of taxpayer money have plunged Dalton into one of its most significant scandals, involving not only misuse of public funds, but also accusations of dubious dealings tied to various town projects. Among the most contentious allegations is Henyard's handling of Section 8 housing payments, a federal program designed to provide affordable and safe housing for low-income families. Critics claim that Henyard continued to collect payments from tenants while failing to use the funds for necessary repairs and maintenance to the housing units. Instead, it is alleged that these funds were diverted to bankroll her lavish personal expenditures, including luxurious trips to destinations like Las Vegas. This revelation has only served to further enrage the public, as Section 8 housing programs are intended to support some of the most vulnerable members of the community. The notion that these critical funds may have been used to finance personal luxuries has sparked widespread condemnation and a profound sense of betrayal among Dalton's residents. For those relying on these housing programs, the scandal represents far more than just financial mismanagement. It embodies a complete failure of leadership and a breach of trust that has left the town's most vulnerable populations without support. The public outcry has been intense, with many residents expressing disbelief that funds meant to improve their living conditions were allegedly funneled into the mayor's extravagant lifestyle. This stark contrast between Henyard's reported opulence and Dalton's deteriorating state has only heightened the outrage, fueling calls for accountability and reform. Dalton is now described as a town in crisis, with its infrastructure crumbling and basic services underfunded or entirely unavailable. The financial mismanagement attributed to Henyard has left essential public services like the police force in jeopardy. Reports suggest that even basic operational costs, such as maintaining police vehicles, have gone unpaid, leaving the town's ability to ensure public safety hanging by a thread. The looming threat of repossession of these vehicles is seen by many as a symbol of just how far the town has fallen under Henyard's leadership. Critics argue that the mayor's actions demonstrate a blatant disregard for fiscal responsibility and an alarming lack of accountability. Allegations of shady dealings in town projects have only added fuel to the fire, with many questioning whether Henyard's administration ever prioritized the town's well-being. What was once a hopeful vision for Dalton's future has devolved into a cautionary tale of unchecked power and self-serving governance. Residents who initially placed their trust in Henyard's leadership now see her as the embodiment of betrayal and broken promises. The scandal has exposed deep flaws in local governance, with Henyard's alleged prioritization of personal comfort over public duty, leaving Dalton on the brink of financial collapse. The town's woes are compounded by the apparent arrogance and indifference displayed by its mayor, who critics say has failed to acknowledge the gravity of the situation or take responsibility for her actions. Instead, Henyard has reportedly continued to project an image of success, even as the town crumbles around her. The public's anger has reached a boiling point, with residents expressing their frustrations at town meetings, on social media, and in public forums. During one particularly heated meeting, a passionate resident confronted Henyard directly, declaring, "You lied to us as residents and you don't stand for me. I want you to resign as mayor today and save our village from the deficit you've caused." This sentiment is widely shared among Dalton's residents, many of whom feel abandoned by a leader they once trusted to guide the town toward a brighter future. As more details of Henyard's alleged financial misconduct come to light, the calls for her resignation have grown louder. Residents are demanding new leadership capable of addressing the town's challenges and guiding it out of its financial crisis. Meanwhile, activists have seized upon the scandal as a rallying cry for systemic reforms, arguing that stronger oversight and transparency measures are essential to prevent similar abuses in the future. The allegations surrounding Henyard's handling of Section 8 housing payments have struck a particularly sensitive chord, as these programs were designed to provide stability and support for families in need. The idea that these funds may have been misused for personal luxury is not just a political scandal, it is a moral failing that has left many residents feeling deeply betrayed. For a town like Dalton, where many families depend on municipal programs and services to make ends meet, the consequences of Henyard's alleged actions have been devastating. The collapse of Henyard's financial house of cards extends far beyond her personal troubles. The fallout has left Dalton grappling with the dual challenges of restoring its finances and rebuilding trust in local government. The situation has highlighted the importance of accountability in public service and the devastating consequences when that accountability is lacking. As investigations into Henyard's actions continue, the full scope of her alleged misconduct may become clearer. "You're going to make a big last impression, Mr. Wynack?" Tally said, looking at his phone. "But for the residents of Dalton, the damage has already been done. The town faces an uphill battle to recover, not only financially but also in terms of public trust and morale. The scandal has left a lasting scar on the community, serving as a grim reminder of what can happen when leaders prioritize self-interest over their responsibilities to those they were elected to serve." In the wake of this scandal, Dalton's residents are left to pick up the pieces, seeking answers, solutions, and a path forward. The road to recovery will be long and difficult, but it also offers an opportunity for meaningful change. The lessons learned from Henyard's alleged actions must guide the town toward a future rooted in transparency, fiscal responsibility, and a renewed commitment to the well-being of its community. Whether Henyard steps down voluntarily or is forced out under mounting legal and public pressure, her tenure as mayor will likely be remembered as a cautionary tale, a stark warning about the dangers of unchecked power and the importance of integrity in leadership.
FBI is around the corner so they can come and raid this place because
Amid mounting turmoil and widespread community discontent, Dalton's embattled mayor, Tiffany Henyard, continues to operate as though nothing is amiss. Even as a maelstrom of scandal surrounds her, Henyard remains defiant, making critical decisions for the town and projecting an air of normalcy. However, the illusion of control was shattered when the FBI launched a far-reaching criminal investigation into her financial dealings. Subpoenas have been issued for everything from Henyard's personal financial records to Dalton's municipal accounts. Federal agents are delving into the layers of her alleged misconduct, uncovering disturbing patterns of financial mismanagement and misuse of taxpayer funds. The scope of Henyard's alleged spending is staggering. Beyond personal vacations to Las Vegas, reports suggest she indulged in high-end vehicles, a private security detail reminiscent of a Hollywood celebrity, and excessive shopping sprees. These allegations paint a picture of a mayor who seemingly regarded her position as a personal treasure chest, disregarding her responsibilities to Dalton's residents. Rather than addressing the scandal humbly, Henyard has reportedly doubled down, blaming others for her predicament. Critics online have responded with scathing rebukes, with one commenter remarking, "She put herself into this mess so she can get herself out of it." Despite her $300,000 annual income, she has allegedly mismanaged her finances so severely that she is now facing bankruptcy. Astonishingly, Henyard has turned to ordinary citizens pleading for financial support via a GoFundMe campaign, an act many view as the height of audacity. This GoFundMe campaign has further inflamed public outrage. Henyard has reportedly raised $115,000 from the appeal, but many residents are baffled and furious. For them, the idea of donating to a mayor accused of squandering public funds and living extravagantly is inconceivable. The campaign is seen by some as a desperate attempt to exploit public sympathy, with critics speculating that she may be planning to flee from her mounting debts and legal troubles. Adding to the public's fury are revelations of her alleged misuse of public resources. Henyard is accused of borrowing extensively, using town assets as collateral for personal loans. a reckless gamble that has left Dalton residents feeling betrayed. So you build enough fan base that Dalton residents feeling betrayed. The over-explaining comes at a time when gasoline is legal and the Dalton addict is described as the hot spot of town. Allegations of nearly $888,000 spent on cosmetics in 2023, alongside extravagant personal expenditures, have further solidified the perception of a leader who prioritizes personal gain over public duty. Dalton, already reeling from years of mismanagement, is struggling to recover from the damage Henyard's leadership has allegedly inflicted. Infrastructure is crumbling, essential services are underfunded, and public trust in local government is at an all-time low. Residents describe her actions as lawless and emblematic of a deeper failure of leadership and accountability. Despite the growing chorus of voices calling for her resignation, Henyard remains unapologetic. Her refusal to step aside has deepened the rift between her administration and the community. Critics argue that her actions are not just reckless, but reflect a fundamental failure to respect the public trust. As lawsuits pile up and federal investigations continue, the stakes for Dalton have never been higher. For residents, this crisis is about more than Henyard's alleged misconduct. It's about the future of their community. They are united in their demand for accountability and transparency, determined to ensure that such a betrayal of trust never happens again. Whether Henyard ultimately faces legal consequences or continues to evade accountability, her tenure as mayor has become a cautionary tale of unchecked power and financial irresponsibility. For Dalton, the road to recovery will be long and arduous, but the scandal has also sparked a newfound resolve among its residents to rebuild and restore their community's integrity.